بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون إنكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون.
Live from the Gambia Radio and Television Services, and this is the news coming to you straight from Banjul. Also coming up, President Barrow has received in audience executive members of the National Council of Elders at the State House in Banjul. Preserving culture and heritage sites, Tourism and Culture Minister Hamat Nkeba reassured government's commitment to re-narrate Gambian history at crossroads. Hearings at the Truth Commission has today continued with former Accountant General and supposed President of the 2006 Nur Cham fuel coup, Aliou Job, appearing to explain his ordeal in the hands of state agents. And in the internationals, the G20 Saudi summit has ended with world leaders pledging their commitment to distribute COVID vaccine fairly, despite not responding to U.S. to $23 billion request made by United Nations to contain the pandemic. An Ethiopian government has warned civilians in its disrupted Tigray region to flee the rebel-held city of Mekelle, adding there will no mercy on its planned Wednesday all-out assault. All these and other stories coming ahead in the next 30 minutes. Many thanks for joining us. many thanks for joining GRTS News with me, Fatou Janibai. Now we begin this edition of the Bulletin of the Presidency, where President Barrow received in audience executive members of the National Council of Elders at the State House in Banjul. The council, recently appointed by a Congress, is composed of prominent individuals selected across the country seeking to provide a platform for dialogue and peaceful resolution of conflicts. More in this report by GRTS's Momodou Jallo.
The National Council of Elders brings together prominent personalities drawn from the regions who were recently selected after a Congress held last Saturday. The council is headed by Falai Balde and includes district chiefs and other individuals. According to Mr. Balde, the council seeks to enhance peace and dialogue amongst communities, but most importantly, to empower the president and the MPP party.
We set up this Council of Elders to bring all the elderly people in the Gambia to able to help the government under the population. Because why? There are a lot of small conflicts like land problems, village level, and other matters. So the Council of Elders can intervene. They come and dissolve the issues or the conflicts what we have. But thirdly, we have a lot of things which the elderly people can contribute to help the people. So that's the reason of setting up this.
This is a view shared by the PRO, Lamin Dong, who believes that the council can use its influence to enhance support for the president. He revealed that they are working on a comprehensive plan of action to complement the efforts of regional and local party structures by engaging the grassroots to strengthen the NPP party. The chief of Jara Central, Alhaji Yaya Jajisi, praised the outcome of the Congress, which unanimously selected Falai as its chairman, describing him as a committed supporter of the president. Chief Jajisi said as representatives of the president at the district level, the chiefs will redouble their efforts to promote his government's agenda. The lady president of the council, Binta Sabali, thanked all members for their commitment to the president's cause, adding that the council will engage all stakeholders across the country to canvass support for the government. The presidential advisor on youth matters, Musa Jeng, welcomed the development, as it would complement the efforts of the political council to deepen the NPP party structures across the country. He, however, called for close coordination with regional and local party officials to avoid friction and duplication of efforts. The President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, applauded the efforts of the members of the council, describing its formalization as a strong foundation that will positively impact the ruling party.
Today, this garden represents the Gambia as a country, and we are very hopeful. This is a great addition to the NPP party and increases the confidence of the leadership. This will further strengthen the political council, our structures, and the leadership of our party, because it comes to complement their efforts at all levels.
The President added that the formation of the council will boost the confidence of the leadership and the rank-and-file membership of the party, as it is representative of the entire country. He, however, called for unity among its membership, cautioning members against any actions that could undermine confidence in the leadership of the council. The President concluded by urging the council to use its influence in society to attract more people into the MPP, which he said is poised for victory in 2021. Momodou Jallo, GRTS News.
Well, let's now shift our attention to some development news, where the Tourism and Culture Minister, Hamad Nkeba, has continued his countrywide tour to tourism and heritage sites. Ominjar is with the minister's delegation, and this is her report.
Welcomed amid jubilant scene at the Wasu Stone Circles, Minister Ahmad Ba and tour team inspected the tourist site in the heart of the village. Here, officials responsible for the site gave the minister an update on the state of activities. In response, Minister Ba hailed the development efforts undertaken to save the place and underscored government's readiness to upgrade the tourist site. With a strong promise of fencing the perimeters of the place, Malamin Keta, Alcalo of Wasu, expressed appreciation to the tourism minister for his usual visits and a commitment to develop the historic site. Wasu Stone Circle is one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, a standard and unique historic site where you can find stones of different shapes and sizes standing close together. This is the tallest stone within the circles here, round-headed and measures roughly 2 meters high. At a brief stop in Barajali, home village of former President Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara, Minister Ahmad Bah and entourage visited the community mosque and family compound. This structure, currently under refurbishment, is where Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara was born in 1924. Minister Bah outlined his overseas plans of transforming the structure to a museum and a research center. The visits form part of the tourism minister's tour to historic sites across the country. The tour continues in other parts of the Central River region. Ominjai, GRTS.
Well, from the report by Ominjai there, we now shift our attention to the Tourism and Culture Minister himself, Hamad Nkeba. And I would like to say good evening to you, Honorable, and welcome to GRTS News.
Good evening, GRTS.
Yes, now this is your second countrywide tour visit, of course, in less than 1 year. What is your purpose?
The purpose is to give back to the people and those that we expressed concern to during our tour, and some of the recommendations we have requested them to carry out to see whether it has been done and whether they are still complying with the regulations. And so far, what we have seen, there has been a great improvement, and hotel, restaurant owners and bar owners now realize that government is concerned as to the standard, what they really present to the people that represent the image of the Gambia at large. And we are happy that they are concerned, and they are doing some great improvements. And indeed, we also give some COVID support to see how this COVID support has been used in all these places that we give them support. So far, so good, inshallah.
Very now, Honorable, you made visits to important heritage sites. What is the plan of these places as you prepare for an all-out sub-regional tourism strategy?
Well, you know, as you're aware that our source market in the international market has become a little bit difficult because they are all on lockdown. Some of them are on lockdown till January, some are December. Therefore, it is important to improve the facilities in our country so that Gambians themselves can go and visit and explore their country and become tourists in their own country. And indeed, the other markets we are trying to source in the sub-region also expect high standards in the country. And this standard cannot only be centered in the Banjul, Greater Banjul area, but they must be all over the country. And that's why the Gambian government through the GT board is constructing 3 to 4 star lodges in the country, and we've also visited the projects, and we've seen that the projects, the work is ongoing, and the other Gambian investors have also started building some hotels throughout the country. We believe in a year's time, Gambians can go, or people out in the sub-region can come and visit the Gambia without necessarily staying in Banjul and exploring the country and staying in standard facilities that are comparable to any part of West Africa.
Very now, finally, with the second wave of COVID infections and vaccines expected to be distributed next month, now what can you tell the public and your stakeholders?
Well, as far as the concern, it's a concern to government. Fortunately, around this part of the country, it seems as COVID is no more. Well, we are trying to educate them about COVID because it's important for also our international arrivals to be aware that as a government, we are making people aware about the dangers of COVID and their need to make sure they go with the COVID protocols and respect all of them. It's not easy, but we believe that some of them will get there as soon as the information is spread around. I think we should continue to do the COVID message across the country. So far, alhamdulillah, I think Gambians are becoming aware of their responsibility in making sure that we do what is right, respecting all international protocols, particularly when it comes to COVID.
Many thanks to you, Honorable Ahmad Nkeba, the Minister for Tourism and Culture, on his latest countrywide tour to tourism and cultural heritage sites across the country. And now to a press release from the government spokesperson, and it reads, Consistent with its commitment to availing stakeholders and partners the opportunity to adopt the national security strategy and the security sector reform, the National Security Office, headed by the National Security Advisor, retired Colonel Momodou Badji, will be launching the two strategic documents tomorrow, Tuesday, 24th November 2020, at the Sadauda Karaba Jawara Conference Center at 10 o'clock a.m. The release continued that dress code to the occasion is formal and all assigned media personnel are requested to report at least an hour earlier to set up their gadgets before guests are seated. The media fraternity is courteously informed that only duly accredited journalists and media practitioners will be granted entry. The Honorable Minister of Justice, Dauda Jallow, in his capacity as chairperson of the Security Sector Reform Committee, will grace the occasion amongst other cabinet ministers, members of the armed and security services, civil society organizations, women and youth groups, religious leaders, physically challenged people, ECOWAS, the United Nations system, and other multilateral organizations. The release concludes. And now, the 17th session of hearings of the Truth Commission has today continued with former Accountant General and supposed President of the 2006 Nur Cham failed coup, Aliou Job, and former Deputy Inspector General of Police, Momodou Gueye, appearing to testify on their alleged torture by agents of the state. Sena Bujan picks up the rest of that story.
Former Accountant General Aliou Job was the first to appear before the Truth Commission. Witness Job told the Commission his educational and professional career. Deputy Lead Counsel Hadidan Nejabi asked the witness about his said involvement in the 2006 failed coup, to which he explained about a conversation he had with the late Colonel Nur Cham in 2005. He told the Commission that the late Nur Cham told him about plans to overthrow President Jammeh.
Something strange came up in the discussion, and he mentioned to me that he is contemplating of overthrowing the government of Jammeh. And to me it was like, I'm dreaming. And my first reaction was, why? Before you condemn or whatever, you need to know why.
I was beaten every day, said Witness Job as he further explained his ordeal at the hands of the four men dressed in black who came for him at 1 a.m.
They also took out the plastic bag and covered my face. And it was tied on my neck here. I wouldn't be able to see anyone, or maybe I'll probably, have more suffering. Well, they started beating me with sticks for a very long time, and, finally they stopped.
The witness told the Commission he served 9 years, 4 months out of his 12-year conviction and was pardoned by the former president during his 22nd July celebrations. Next to appear was the former Deputy Inspector General of Police, Momodou Gueye, as he testified on the accusation that he was involved in the alleged coup attempt of 2009, together with former TDS Langton Mongtamba and others. The witness also explains about his time at the Mautu prisons. They put 2 plastic bags over my head, said Witness Gueye, as he narrated his encounter with the NIA officers. The witness told the Commission that he and others were sentenced to death and endured difficult times for 6 years and some months. However, was also released when the former president pardoned prisoners. Zainabu Jain for GRTS News.
Now, the Gambia Immigration Department, in collaboration with Guardia Civil of Spain, recently concluded a 3-week intensive training for security personnel on migration and border management. As Winifred Nicol reports, the training held at the Immigration Department Training School in Tangier was graced by senior security officers.
The partnership between Spain's Civil Guard and the Gambian Navy started way back in 2008. When a memorandum of understanding was signed between the 2 law enforcement agencies to facilitate the deployment of technical assistance to the Gambia from its Spanish partners. That collaboration inspired this capacity training of 27 participants from different security units in the country.
This all started with the SIJOS project, already completed, and recently with the Blue Sahel project, approved and funded by the European Union and Spain. The results of this collaboration are very satisfactory, not only for the goals achieved in the past and the ones to come, but also about creating a climate of mutual trust and understanding between the Spanish Guardia Civil and the military and security forces in the Gambia. The Blue Sahel project has among its objectives to increase the training and capacity building of this country and neighboring law enforcement forces similar, with the only purpose of succeeding in coordinated actions to fight in a very effective form against organized crime, including irregular immigration.
For 2 weeks, participants were taken through intensive lectures on different modules, such as border management and irregular migration, as well as the execution of practical simulations at strategic locations on the 3rd week.
This all-important training, especially the modules on irregular migration, couldn't have come at a more appropriate time than now, when the sub-region, including the Gambia, is witnessing a resurgence in the irregular migration menace. Recently, irregular migration trends seems to be shifting from the central Mediterranean route, which is the Niger-Libya route, to the western Mediterranean route, which is the Atlantic Ocean route, bound for the Spanish archipelago of Canary Islands. This route is very perilous and has caused the death of many young people in the sub-region, while the unscrupulous migrant smugglers continue to enrich themselves at the expense of the lives of these young promising citizens.
According to the Spanish Charge d'Affaires, the Gambia and Spain share deep and strong bilateral relations, strengthening engagement in both countries.
But we're also joined by a common approach that is the one that has guided this training, which is putting people first. This is the core of Spain's foreign policy. It has also been the basis for working together with the Gambia, and it is also the core of all the work that the Guardia Civil has been doing here in this country since they were deployed here 15 years ago.
Migration and border management chart two critical areas, becoming increasingly complex for governance and national security, which needs concerted efforts to tackle. CDM Toure is the Director General of the Gambia Immigration Department.
The Gambia government remains committed in meeting the fundamental requirements for responding to and addressing effective border management to control and prevent irregular migration, international terrorism, including public health surveillance and responses. The GID and all other relevant border agencies are doing all what it takes to ensuring that the regularized and controlled movement in and out of the country of people, goods and services.
As GID moves to advance partnership efforts to accelerate the reforms and restructuring program of security agencies in the country, great steps are being taken to engage international best practice, such as this capacity training, which will in no small measure equip immigration officers and other security personnel with requisite knowledge to improve services in border surveillance and territorial security. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Winifred Nicole.
And now, Rafael Gambia chapter has embarked on a countrywide sensitization tour with the aim to sensitize women groups to register and be part of their organization. As Bar Ibrahim Cham reports, the tour started at Brikama and members are to benefit from incentives that will enable them develop in various entrepreneurship ventures.
Rafaela, the Gambian chapter under the umbrella of elected local government women officials in the region, held stakeholders forum in Brikama as part of its first leg nationwide popularization tour. Rafaela, a women platform under the United Cities of Local Governments in Africa, seeks to advocate the participation and empowerment of women in decision-making process aimed at occupying leadership positions in politics. The mayor of Banjul is the president of Rafaela Gambian chapter, and she as well serves as the president of capital cities in Africa.
It's a platform for every woman, it's a platform for women to network so that we can sit, talk about our problems, especially economic, political, and other problems.
Rohi Malik Low further highlighted the importance of women participation in politics, while urging them to be steadfast, collectively addressing challenges hampering their well-being.
Every woman who is here is part of Rafaela. Every woman who is here is a woman of substance, and we all have value. We should celebrate each other and we should encourage each other. Therefore, seeing other people sitting at the high table doesn't give them more value than you that are standing here. So, congratulations to every woman that is present here.
Amidst the fanfare and cultural display, women leaders including Lady Councillor Ami Bangura, Sukai Sanyang, and Kadifal Bojang, all leading different constituents within the West Coast region, offered peaceful and unifying messages to the gathering. Young Binta Jabate is the founder of Farato Dariji Talent Association, and she has been inspired by the speeches of women leaders.
I know that we are all young, though we are teenagers, but we will one day grow up to be women. And we don't want to face the same problem when it comes to labor side. So that's why we want to stop it. And I hope Refala can join hands with us in order to stop this. And the second thing is that if you come to sit in the Gambia, it's really rare and difficult for young girls and boys like us to showcase our talent to the world. And that's why I really formed this, and I really want Rafael to also help us on that part to showcase our talent, because we know that we can really do it. We should not always depend on outside.
Rafaela, the Gambian chapter, is set to hold similar forums in other parts of the country. Reporting for GRTS News, I'm by Ibrahim Cham.
Well, time now to take our first break. When we return, we'll take a look at news beyond our shores. To stay with us.
In the mood of pranking your friends? Change your voice and spice up your calls with AfriCell Magic Voice Service. You can choose to talk with a cartoon, a woman's or a monster's voice for only $1 per day. To activate the magic voice, call or SMS 188 or simply dial *188#. Have fun and enjoy the laughs.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow. Tired of seeing the message you have insufficient funds in your account? Worry no more. With AfriCell, the cholera credit just got way better.
Now you can continue your conversations with your loved ones. With the new cholera credit, you can now borrow up to $250 credit. Send a blank SMS to 152 to get your cholera credit and activate the service of your choice. For more info, please call 111.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Welcome back, and we shift attention to news beyond our shores. Now, leaders of the G20 Virtual Summit have said they will spare no effort to supply COVID-19 drugs, tests, and vaccines fairly, and will ensure everyone is given affordable and equitable access. The leaders of the world's 20 wealthiest nations have been discussing how to down back from the crisis sparked by the coronavirus pandemic and how to boost multilateral trade. And elsewhere, fighting continues in the northern Tigray region in Ethiopia, where the conflict is just 2 weeks old, but already creating a humanitarian crisis, with the Ethiopian military trying to use heavy weaponry to end what they call rebellion insurgency at the last hold of Tigray fighters at Mekelle. Experts say thousands of more of civilians are expected to be displaced. And Senegal's recent migrant death at sea has sent hundreds of families mourning. Many experts and stakeholders who continue to deter the practice say reasons for this dead-raised migrations are purely economic reasons, which continued to be fueled by effects of COVID-19. Now, many are calling on government to do more, as many Senegalese youth remain adamant to join the journey. They call hope in order to salvage their families from poverty. Well, we'll now shift attention to the weather report, courtesy of the Central Forecast Office. Welcome back. And to end this edition of the news, a recap of our top stories once again. New political entrant, the National People's Party, has demonstrated their political prowess, sweeping the by-elective polls of Nyamina West and Cape Ward on Saturday. Well, we beg your pardon. President Adam Barrow has received in audience executive members of the National Council of Elders at the State House in Banjul. Preserving culture and heritage sites, Tourism and Culture Minister Hamat Nkeba reassured government's commitment to re-narrate Gambian history at crossroads. And hearings at the Truth Commission has today continued with former Accountant General and supposed president of the 2006 Node Charmfield coup, Aliu Job, appearing to explain his ordeal in the hands of state agents. And in the internationals, the G20 Saudi Summit has ended with world leaders pledging their commitment to distribute COVID vaccine fairly despite not responding to $23 billion request made by the United Nations to contain the pandemic. And Ethiopian government has warned civilians in its disputed Tigray region to flee the rebel-held city of Mekelle, adding there will be no mercy on its planned Wednesday all-out assault. Well, that's it from me, Fatu Janimbai, from the entire news team. I'll see you again at 2200 hours, inshallah, for another edition of the news. Until then, thank you for watching and see you again.
Hello, AfriCell people. AfriCell has done it again.
What is it this time?
Simply use your AfriMoney account to buy credit, data, and cash power to get the chance to win up to $500,000.
That is fantastic.
If you don't have an AfriMoney account, now is the perfect time to get it. Call 777 to activate your AfriMoney and increase your chances to win up to $500,000.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow. Tired of seeing the message you have insufficient funds in your account? Worry no more. With AfriCell, the cholera credit just got way better.
Now you can continue your conversations with your loved ones. With the new cholera credit, you can now borrow up to $250 credit. Send a blank SMS to 152 to get your cholera credit and activate the service of your choice. For more info, please call 111.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.